friends, good morning. Here we are once again. Welcome to session number 5. Yes, it's hard to believe. It's session number 5 of Get More Clients Now. And we've been going through a lot of information. If you're joining us just for the first time, I really highly suggest that you go back to session 1 and go all the way through. We do after today. So today we're going to cover the third part. Bring it up over here. The third part of the client attraction formula. We are going to talk a little bit about sales funnels, and we're going to talk about ways that you can generate leads for your business. Tomorrow evening, we're going to go back to the 8 o'clock. And this is where I'm really going to give you the scripts, the templates, and the process for actually a system that I have used. I learned from another business coach, and I'm going to pass it on to you, how you can actually drum up more clients for your business, because I know that starting off in 2020, that's what everyone wants to do. So let's just have a quick recap of the 3-step client attraction formula and why it is so important. I'm going to answer a question that somebody raised yesterday about value pricing and what is value pricing. But first of all, let's go back here. And if you are watching, even if it's the replay, please, be so kind as to give me some high fives, give me some love, so that I know that there's really somebody out there who is watching. So let me just do this. I also have my computer going live here so that I can sort of go back and forth between and see all the comments. Okay, so the first thing we talked about in your 3-step client attraction formula is that you had to have a clear message, right? You had to be very clear. Hey, great to see someone. You have to be really clear about what your message is. And the thing is about this 3-step client attraction formula, you need all 3 of these elements. They all need to be really going well so that you can actually get more clients. When they interact, that's what happens. So your clear message. Your clear message is, a very clear, succinct way that you tell people or you answer to people. Hello from snowy Nova Scotia, she says. Okay, well, it's bright and sunny here. I've even got the blinds drawn this morning. So your clear message, it must be memorable and it must be repeatable. It's got to be short, succinct, and repeatable so that people understand what you do. I hate to say it, but we kind of got to dumb it down, pretend we're talking to a 10-year-old. It's impacted by your entrepreneurial DNA, your distinctive natural advantage. Also, the one problem that you solve. What is that one problem that you solve that you want to build your reputation on? We all know that you can all solve a million problems, and you can. But to get your clients in the door, you want to be known for solving one problem. And the third thing is what I call your expert advantage. What makes you appear to be different than other people in your industry? So for instance, if I'm a business coach, what makes me appear to be different? What is my expert advantage? So that's number 1. And I had you rate them like a traffic light: green, yellow, or red. Yesterday we were talking about a compelling offer. Number 2 of the 3-step client attraction formula. A compelling offer is, what is that thing you are selling? And typically when I'm working with clients, what is that one thing you are selling, that signature program? And then I show them how to create what I call a downsell and an upsell. So your compelling offer is based on the results that you get your clients. What is the big result they're lying awake at night thinking about? Also, your packaging. How are you packaging it up? It could be the name, what's a juicy name that people are really attracted to. It could be something more like intellectual property. So this is what I would call my intellectual property. I developed it. And then the third thing that impacts your compelling offer is what I call your profit zones. And we don't have time to go into those 7 profit zones, but another time I promise we will. So the question that was raised was, somebody asked the question, what is value pricing? And when I talked about a compelling offer, I mentioned that people have to move away from charging by the hour. So for instance, very often we see lawyers charging by the hour, massage therapists charging by the hours, even fitness trainers charging by the hour. In fact, in the fitness industry, very often they will sell you 10 sessions for the price of 8. Well, to me, that's even discounting. So moving away from charging by the hour, because when you charge just by the hour, there's only so many hours in a week, and so you're putting a cap on your income to the value of what you're offering. So let me give you a couple of examples. Let's take water. You can get water free from the tap. You can buy a bottle of water, probably in a case of 24 for less than $1 a bottle. But you can also buy water at $5 or $7 a bottle. Why? Because somebody has put a value on that. And let's say a $5 bottle of value is $5 bottle of water. That value is based on status. So you're appealing to someone's status. That's not necessarily value, but it's a way that you can see that pricing is differentiated. Another way is, okay, so I'm going to take Maggie, and let's say you teach someone how to lose weight significantly and get in shape so that they can come off their high blood pressure medication. What is the value of that? The value of that is a long-term value, right? It's huge value, and you could put a price to it by saying, how much did their medication cost them? Right? That medication costs them over time, X amount of dollars. Maybe getting a heart attack, you could put a value on that. And what you are teaching them, what the results that they get, has a bigger value than the time they were spending in front of you. So another example would be, for instance, my Achievers Club that I used to have was $3,500 for 6 months. But what I taught in there was the ability to earn $5,000 a month or more over time. So even though I spent 6 months teaching that person, time and time again, they could replicate it. And what was the value of that? The value is much more than $3,500. So that's what I mean in terms of value pricing. And I hope that has somehow clarified that for you. If you still have questions on value pricing, let me know, and I'll be happy to do another video on value pricing. Okay. You have a clear message, a compelling offer, and where those two intersect is where you can capture the leads of your potential clients. So the third step is another C, consistent outreach. So very often I'll hear people telling me, well, Diana, I tried that, but it didn't work. Diana, I tried to go to networking and it didn't work. Diana, I tried social media, but it didn't work. However, the key word here is consistent. And the other is your message clear for this? And when these two intersect here, right, when you're consistently outreaching, this is capture. So this is where you get to cultivate or nurture that relationship. Consistent outreach with your clear message. And what do I mean? It's about getting in front of the right buyers that you have, right? It's about getting out there and being seen. I said this once before, you can't be a success and a secret at the same time. It doesn't work. You can't be the best kept secret in town and still be a success. So what happens when you're inconsistent? What happens when you're inconsistent on social media? What happens if you're inconsistent in your blog and your newsletter? What happens then is that people go, well, if she's inconsistent in showing up, is she inconsistent in the results that she provides? That's number one. Number two is they forget about you. Truth be known. With all the marketing that is being done today, if you aren't consistently out there, people forget about you. And the next best thing comes along. And they go, oh yeah, they're like squirrels. They zip here and zip there. So you've got to be out there consistently. So top three mistakes about consistent outreach. Number one, I think people, especially those of us who work from home, we hide in our little secret entrepreneurial laboratory, hoping that someone's going to find us. But by hiding here, no one is going to find us. And we must get out there and become much more visible. Number two mistake that I see very often, people are on social media, but they're networking with their peers. So let's say you're a fitness coach, and you're out there networking with other fitness people. It ain't gonna happen, right? So you've got to be out there developing that know, like, and trust. You've got to be out there creating engagement. Hey, there's a new face. Welcome aboard. You've got to be out there on a consistent basis. And that's why this whole cultivate is so important. And I think it's one of the big parts of the marketing that people forget about. They think about capturing leads and, how am I going to capture leads? But as I explained yesterday, there's only a few percentage of those people out there who are looking for you right now. You must cultivate that relationship and build that know, like, and trust factor. Third mistake that I see when it comes to consistent outreach is what I call randomly choosing a marketing tactic. And I've, been there, done that. And I talked earlier about ditching the hustle. But how many of us have, raise your hand, let's be honest here. How many of us have gone, well, let's see, maybe I'll try LinkedIn. And you give LinkedIn a try for 2 or 3, if you're lucky, 2 or 3 weeks and nothing's happening, so you give up on it. Or you decide that, I'm going to try Instagram, or I'm going to try live video, or I'm going to try this. The fact is that we pick these tactics just kind of out of the air, and we don't create an overall master plan for what is happening, and everything is random. It's just random, and it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. When we don't have an overall master plan, when we don't know what content style we are really great at. I was listening to somebody the other day and they said, you've got to try things. If you're going to try things, it's got to be for at least a minimum of 90 days. You've got to stick with shit for 90 days to see if it's going to work. So 90 days is what you want to do. And if it's not 90 days, then you're probably just not building up any momentum at all. So let's go back to, I have the three things here. Sorry, I haven't got much room left. This really looks like a scroll, but you've got the workbook, so, right? So there's three things that really impact your consistent outreach. Number one is you've got to pick that marketing tactic or the marketing mix that is good for you. Not only good for you, but good for your clients, right? What is it that's going to work? The other thing is that I'm going to write it here. So marketing needs to be what we call stacked. And just one marketing tactic rarely works. People need to see, 90 days is going to be a stretch. Yep. We need to stack our marketing. That's what it's called. And so it might mean that you're on, let's say, I'm on Facebook and I'm doing Facebook Live. Okay, that's one thing. But I also write a blog. I'm also on LinkedIn. I also have this could be down here. I have a website. All of these things are saying exactly the same message. Exactly the same message. And this is what we call stacked. And it's also another way of repurposing your content that you're going to use for consistent outreach. And I think one of the biggest struggles I hear people say time and time and time again is, how am I going to create content? I just don't know what to create. I don't know where to put it. I don't know if it's going to work, etc., etc. So that's why I'm holding on the 10th and 11th of January something called Content Creation Bootcamp. It's because I'm addressing this whole thing of consistent outreach. Okay? How to mix your marketing content for you, how to mix your marketing content, and here I'm going to write CRA for your stage of business growth. And how are you going to mix your marketing content for a 90-day plan? All of those things help you create this. What happens here between your compelling offer and that's all about also, it's all about cultivating, right? The overlap. And when you get all of these things right, that's when you get more clients. So let's go back to the traffic light and talk about how many of you rate yourself with consistent outreach, rate yourself green. So you are amazing. You're out there on a consistent basis. You have a plan, a strategy for your outreach for the next 90 days. That's green. Yellow, you're kind of hit and miss with your consistent outreach. And red, you are not consistent at all. And so what happens then is you don't have consistent results, right? Consistent effort brings you consistent results. So questions about the 3 steps here. Or I see that there's a couple of people watching. So how did you rate yourself? Let's go back to that. How did you rate yourself? I'm going to take a sip of my morning tea here. Red, yellow, or green. See, the thing is, when you know where your marketing is, right now I'm not. So Mikey would be in the red, I'm guessing. But yeah, when you know what's, if it's red, yellow, green, if you've got a lot of reds or yellows in this, then you know, okay, I've got to fix this, I've got to fix this, I've got to improve that. It's kind of like being your own diagnostician. Yeah, Terry says yellow, Mira says between yellow and red. Thank you so much for being so honest, everyone here. I know it's not easy to, show up and kind of claim to the world that we're not all at the green level. Been there, done that, and still, there are times I fall down. But we all start at zero. And when we all start at zero, we all move forward. So this is really the 3-step client attraction formula. I hope that rating yourself has been helpful. And if you have reds and yellows, I'm here to help you turn those into green. That's what I do. That's what I'm really, really great at doing. It's my magic sauce. Each one of you has a magic sauce. And, especially getting the clear message and these are what I'm really great at. And create that content creation boot camp that I'm hosting this coming week, so Friday and Saturday. That's what we're going to address here, is how you can improve your consistent outreach so that you can cultivate those people and turn them into clients. All right. Good one, everyone. So I want to talk a little bit about, I want to go back to this captivate, cultivate, and convert as it relates to your stage of business growth. Okay? So I'm going to go back here again. I'm going to draw my infamous grow meter. It's a thermometer, remember. It's not some other thing, as some people have said it might be. So, 4 stages of business growth. And I call this the glorified employee, the manager, the CEO, and legacy. Okay? So, let's talk about sales funnels and what you need to do for each one to captivate, cultivate, and convert. So I'm going to write cap, cult, convert. Okay, I'll get out a different color pen. All right, so this is really typically here 0 to 75K. Typically, service-based industry. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mira. Good. Even though you've been hearing it, yes. All right. At this stage, networking is the best, the easiest, the quickest, less complicated way to grow your business. And this could be face-to-face, it could be on formal networking, it could be on social media, could be going out to your yoga class, it could be whatever. There are lots of ways to network. And the thing is, as we move up here and talk about different stages of business growth, even if you're here at the CEO level, it doesn't mean you stop networking. It doesn't mean this is a skill that you need to master and get right. So what do you need to, if you're out networking, what do you need to captivate a prospect, right? You need, as some people call it, an elevator pitch, a help statement. You have to know how to talk about your business so that people lean in. But you also need to be energetic and confident and, you know, just kind of walk into the room, say what you have to say with energy and confidence. Because if you don't, then those people that are listening to you or seeing you, they go, well, she's not very confident in what she's saying. And, you know, in fact, I'll tell you a story about that. This is years ago when I started my Achievers Club, and there was a young woman. I always say young woman. They're all younger than me. Anyway, I had a client. She had a business, and we worked on her elevator pitch. We worked on it, and she practiced it, and she sent me, a video of it and that sort of thing. And she was going to networking and crickets. Nothing was happening. And I couldn't figure this out. Yeah. And I happened to go to a networking event one day that she was at. And she stood up to say her elevator pitch. It was the most disjointed, weak voice, lacking confidence that I had ever heard in my life. And I went, oh my God, that's why it's not working. Because she wasn't confident enough in what she was saying. And if you're not confident enough in what you're saying, it ain't going to work. So not only do you need a great elevator pitch, but you need that confidence and that energy. So how are you going to cultivate any leads that you might get? How are you going to cultivate those? One of the ways is to have, I'll call it a freebie, a lead magnet, an opt-in that you send them. So let's say I go to a networking event, I meet somebody that, we have a quick conversation, and I identify through our conversation that they have a problem that I can solve. And I go, you know what? I have a lead magnet. I have this PDF. I have this video, whatever it happens to be, that might help you. Would you be interested in getting it? And they would go, yeah, that would be awesome. Well, here's a hint. I actually have that lead magnet on the back of my business card. Right? There's a link to it on the back of my business card. Or I can say, well, would it be okay if I send you an email with my PDF or whatever it happens to be? And they go, oh, that would be great. There you have captured, right, from the elevator pitch, you're going to give them the freebie, and then they are going to be on your email list, right? Where you can continue that process of cultivating them. But you also need that energy to move forward, to be able to offer it to them, right? That confidence and that energy. Now, how are you going to convert them? You're going to invite them. Yes, you actually have to ask them. Invite them to a strategy session. Strategy session, a discovery call, whatever it is, so that you want to see if they are a good fit to work with you. And that's where you really basically qualify them. And let's be honest, it is a sales conversation. But you have to have the energy. You have to know the systems. You have to know it because you want to sell them into your signature system, right? The offer. So here we have, right? Here's your clear message. Here is your offer, your compelling offer. And being out there consistently, you're going to bring them. Basically, that's your sales funnel if this is where you are. It's kind of simple. It's manual, but it works. And if it isn't working for you, then it's just about tweaking it. And there's a lot of things to develop here, right? A lot of things to develop and a lot of things to master. So just because it hasn't worked in the first 60 days of you being consistent, don't say that it isn't going to work. Be consistent, tweak it. If you are standing up and giving your elevator pitch and you're getting crickets, then you think, well, maybe my elevator pitch is wrong. Maybe the group that I'm in is wrong. Or maybe I just don't have the right energy today. You've got to ask yourself some questions. Okay? So that's a sales funnel for networking. Questions? Questions? Anybody? Take another sip here. And then I'm going to move up to manager. So manager is basically you're earning somewhere 100 to 200K. Remember we talked about this is where you learn leveraging, delegating, and systems. This is where you're really building a foundation. And that's why I have it in terms of a thermometer, because it really does build one on top of the other. Questions? I don't see any questions. Okay. So, networking. Here, speaking is your main way to generate sales. One of the mistakes that I see is that people move up to speaking before they have all of these things in place. And then they're going out there and speaking, and it's great. You know, it is a great way to be seen, but they're not going through the process. They're not getting any leads. They're not cultivating anybody, and they have nobody to sell into. So make sure that you have the foundation built. So in terms of speaking, how do you captivate people? Well, we all know that there are times when a title, right? A title is really going to be captivating. So the title of your speech can be the thing that makes or breaks it, to be quite honest. I mean, I could title, a talk, the 3-step client attraction formula. Well, that's kind of boring. But maybe something like plug your leaks in your marketing so that you can get more clients. Somebody might go, oh, okay. So Mira says, can speaking to small groups be used as a networking tool and within that capture leads? I'm not exactly sure what you mean. I would say speaking to any groups is great if you are sure that you have these things in place. Because then it's going to, one of the great things about speaking is it sets you up as an authority. Anytime you can get in front of a group and they are that automatically makes them think that you're an authority on something. So make sure that you have a way of capturing the leads when you speak. Okay? So, here to capture, and you also have to have energy in order to invite people to whatever the talk is. Now, some of you may belong to networking groups where they may rotate speakers, for instance, and they're looking for speakers. And it might be an opportunity for you to test out a few things. So that might be good. But you need a great title and you need the energy. Excuse me. In order to cultivate, you need a signature talk. A signature talk that leads them to want to buy your signature system. Right? Because you're going to cultivate them, your signature talk. Then you're probably going to use what I call a half sheet. You're going to put them on your email list. You may invite them to a strategy session. Right? So again, it's the same thing. You need that strategy session and you need that signature system in order to be able to sell them into that. You need the foundation first. Perfect. Yes. Because how many times, I'm sure some of you have been out there and you have gone out and you have spoken to groups and it's great experience, but it hasn't let you build your business, right? You're not getting any sales from it. You're not getting any new clients from it. Whatever you do, I want you to get sales and I want you to get clients. So build the foundation and that's what you've got there. Okay, so networking and then speaking. Now, when it comes to the CEO level, this is where we're looking at, 200K plus. The types of things, again, would be, this is where you can go online. This is where you can pay to advertise. Please don't be paying to advertise, especially with Facebook ads, no boosting of Facebook, nothing like that. Truthfully, you are wasting your money until you get to the 200K mark. This is not just me telling you this. This is my business coach telling me. It is people who I have worked with who are really good and they have businesses about Facebook ads. Facebook ads, in order to get a good return on your investment, you are consistently, remember, consistent, investing money. You are consistently investing $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month or more in order to make them work. So when you see those sponsored ads, it's not people spending $10. There's a consistent spend. So you can do this, you can do online, or like I did, you can create events. And events, when I'm talking about not just a one-day event, I'm talking about like big 3-day events, okay? And again, it is, what's the title? What's the energy that you have? How are you going to cultivate them? And again, it's probably some sort of signature talk. You're going to convert them by getting them, again, into a strategy session. And as you're moving up, even though you might be at the CEO level, you're still doing networking. You're still doing speaking. It's building one-on-one, each one. So remember, networking, this is how you can do it. Typically, it's, one of the benefits is it's manual. There's no great technology. A little bit of technology maybe to get your freebie on your website. And it is one of the quickest ways. Okay? Yeah, a lot of people think that paid advertising is the way to go. They think that that's the way that I'm going to make money while I sleep. A lot of people think that, I can just hide in my office and that's going to be, I'm going to make money doing this. I can honestly tell you it is not going to work. Oh, okay. So who's going to be using more networking? Hands up, high and proud. More networking. What I recommend, or what, I'll tell you what I did last year. I got a little book like this, only because it fits in my purse. And every time I went to a networking event, I numbered them. And because I really didn't know how many networking events I would do in a year. And this was inspired to me by somebody that I know from out west. And I think she did, now she belongs to a weekly networking group. I think she did 75 networking meetings in the course of a year. I went to 53, so about one a week. And I wrote little notes. I wrote who I met, what conference I went to, all kinds of good little notes in here. So it allowed me to keep track of those places that I went to. So enjoy doing something like that. Okay, I promised, any questions that we got so far? I got high fives, yes. Okay, I promised I would share with you some ways to generate more leads for your business without spending money on advertising, right? Okay, got your pen and paper ready for this? I'm just gonna close a few things here off my computer. All right. I'm gonna leave the best one for last, so because I want to talk about it. So let's talk about how you can generate leads. One is referral sources. So the first one would be referral sources. So who do you have that could refer people to you? Who do you have? Have you built, circle of influence? Who do you know that might know somebody that they could refer to you? And yep, it's about picking up the phone and calling these referral sources and basically asking them if they know anybody who could use your services. Now, you probably wouldn't start out that way. You'd probably start out by, it's a great time to do it right now. How was your new year? What are your plans for your business, right? Going forward this year. And you could tell them you're focused on developing more business and that there are certain things that you want. And so call your referral sources and ask them if they know of somebody who might be a good fit for you. If they do, then the second step, I believe, this is the way I do it, is you ask them to do an email introduction. So for instance, let's say I asked somebody and they said, oh, I know this great person. And I say, oh, that would be amazing. I'd really appreciate it. I really could use your help. And people love to help. So I would say, would you mind sending an email introduction? And so person A would go, email, carbon copy to both people and say, I just want to introduce you to Maggie. Maggie, this is Christina. A little bit about each person. I thought you might be a good fit. Easy peasy. So ask your referral sources, okay? Here's another one. Sharpen your networking strategy. I have always said that, and some of you may laugh, but networking is kind of like fishing. Yeah. So my son is a fisherman, an avid fisherman. And if he wants to catch a certain type of fish, which you want to catch a certain type of person, if you want to catch a certain type of fish, you are going to go to a certain type of stream. You are going to use a certain type of equipment. It's the same with your networking. You've got to go where either your potential clients are or where people who know your potential clients. Okay? So, and this may take some experimentation. And that's the problem. We go to a networking and we go, well, there's nobody here today. But you've got to kind of experiment and you've got to kind of go back again and you have to be consistent. Okay? So gear up, sharpen your networking strategy, test out your elevator pitch. Number 3 is about growing your social media network. How can you grow your network on social media? How can you grow, first of all, which platform are you on? This particular Facebook Live series that I've been doing has grown my Facebook group. Okay, it has grown my group. So what can you do out there to grow your social media network? Well, there are a number of things, and I'm going to share a whole bunch of secrets during my content creation boot camp about growing that. And it's about connecting, being visible, but also figuring out if they are a good fit for you. It takes some consistency. Here's number 4. Number 4 to generate more leads for your business is host a lunch and learn or an educational event. And I know we talked about networking and speaking. If you're moving up in the terms of income, if you're moving up towards that 100K, then test out a lunch and learn. But make sure that you know in your mind that you're going to invite people to your signature system, or you're going to invite them to a sales strategy call. Okay? A classic example is you'll see very often real estate agents hosting a lunch and learn for, first-time home buyers, right? I belong to a networking group in Ottawa, WBN. We'll be hosting a lunch and learn in February. Lunch and learns can be very good because, well, they have an upside and a downside. You are, as the speaker, you have the floor and it's automatic positioning you. But the other thing is lunch and learns can be a bit of a downside because people are often sitting there eating and not paying close attention to what you're saying. So just, be aware of that. So a lunch and learn, you could host a Facebook, you could host a webinar, you could host a Facebook Live series like I'm doing. And that's okay, but you again must know where these people are going, what the process is that you have for them, right? Online like this, a Facebook Live or a Zoom call, a series of Zoom calls would be basically like a webinar. It's an online version of a lunch and learn. A little bit more technology, but still it's about inviting the right people so that you can create a follow-up strategy, again, so that you take them through those 3 steps, okay? Number 6, add a lead magnet to your website. I don't know how many of you have a lead magnet. Raise your hands if you do. High five, thumbs up, something that you have a lead magnet. Is that lead magnet working, and are you directing people on a continuous basis to that lead magnet? If it is working, or if it's working marginally, maybe it's time to tweak it. Maybe it's time to change it. Who knows? but lead magnets. If you're up here in the manager level and pushing up here, you may have multiple lead magnets. Okay, multiple lead magnets. Cool. So somebody's given me a thumbs up. So I don't know who that was, but you have a lead magnet. Is it working? Are you following the stats on your lead magnet? How is it converting? Okay. Again, these are people who are researching you. They're not committing to you yet, but they're researching you. And so this is where you have the opportunity to cultivate them on and on again, because you want to give them more education that is going to position you as that expert. It's all about positioning you as the expert who can, positioning you as the expert who can solve their problem. Number 7. So I've been talking about all of this leading to a signature system, right? The thing is that with a signature system tends to be, somewhere usually $2,000 to, I'm going to say $10,000. It could be less, it could be more. But what if you created a downsell from that? So what do I mean? What I mean is an introductory offer. So I would say my signature system currently is called the CEO Mastermind. Okay? It's for people who are here. And the CEO Mastermind is meant for them to get out of the office, meet once a month, get some coaching, and to work on their business rather than in their business. So it might be helping them create these things or create and tweak some of these things. But what if somebody came to me and went, well, I don't feel like I'm ready to spend that kind of money and that time commitment. And so then I have what I call I have a downsell, which is Discover Your Difference, which is about learning about your DNA, your distinctive natural advantage. And that's a $297. It is a real downsell from this. But I could also offer them a half-day VIP day, okay, which is more like $600. So I have a downsell from my signature system. I'm not saying that you don't sell this. I see a lot of people trying to sell too many of these small things and not this, not your signature system. Okay? So make sure that you can create an introductory product or service that you can sell them. Okay? Sometimes people just need more of this cultivating. They just need more of this know, like, and trust. Okay? Here we are, number 8. I'm going to assume that everybody has an email list. Yes? High five? You have an email list. Are you making special offers to those people who are on your email list? New Year is, it's a time to, what could you offer your email list so that they actually see the value in what you're doing? Make them a little offer, a limited time offer, a special only offer. This is, only for my email list. This is only for these people, right? And it's a great way to, especially at this time of year, get some more leads and get some more traction in your business. Okay? Number 9 is all about creating a joint venture or a partnership, about tapping into someone else's audience. And if you can tap into somebody else's audience, so for instance, 2 friends of mine actually did a joint venture this weekend. they hosted a workshop together. A special offer and a discount, right? Thank you for asking that question. So a special offer versus a discount. I'm not a big fan of discounting, and I saw so much discounting going on when, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that kind of thing. And I went, really? Why are you people discounting your services so much? And yes, it may be a way if you're desperate for money, but I would rather see, let's say, here. What if I created for my email list a special offer? I packaged these two things together. Okay. So I took two products, I packaged them together, and yes, I could give a small discount to my email list, but it's a one-time offer. And it's only for them. I'm not going out there and advertising this on Facebook. Create something that has additional value. Or I see this a lot, packaging things together. So, for instance, I also have something called the clarity map. And I could take the DNA and I could add the clarity map. I already have it created, right? I already have it created, so I'm creating more value. I'm adding things together. I hope that explains it. The difference between a special offer. Special offer is to a special group of people. It's a limited time. There's only so many available. Okay? As opposed to going out and saying, it's Cyber Monday, so I'm going to give everybody 50% off. Not the same kind of thing. Okay? All right. Create a joint venture or partnership. As I said, two friends of mine created a workshop together today or yesterday, I think it was. And so they were able to tap into each one's list or circle of influence. That is okay if your price tag is sufficient so that each one of you is earning enough money. But what very often happens is that two people come together, they charge the price of one person, and so you have to be really careful about partnerships that you get into with people when you're doing things together. But it may be that somebody that you could partner up with, and you could go to their email list and say, would this work for your email list? I have this great offer. And then they could give you an offer that you could offer your email list. That's another great way of doing it. Okay, last but not least, I want to share with you the best way that I have found for generating more leads and more cash quickly. And I think it's really what could rock your businesses off for 2020, especially in January and February. It's a process of looking at your past clients. Your past clients, number one, already know, like, and trust you. They know that what you do gets them great results. What is the next step that you could offer your past clients? Could you offer them something new? And so I'm going to talk about, this is really what we're going to talk about tomorrow night. We're going to talk about how you can generate more sales, more income from looking at those people who have already worked with you once, or who are on your email list, or you already have a connection with. I'm going to share with you scripts. I'm going to share with you, templates, how to rate these clients as a possible, hot versus, a hot lead versus a cold lead. And that's what we're going to look into tomorrow. I know that for some of you here, You may not have an email list, but you do have a list of people that you have worked with. So I'd like your homework is to actually create that list of clients. Who have you worked with in the past? Write their names down on a list. And then tomorrow night, we're going to go through and how you can turn that into more of what you need going forward. You already have the, you already have this about how to attract new clients. Now I want to help you take those clients that you have and add more value for them and for you to make more money, right? They've already got the know, like, and trust. They've bought something for you. How can you move them up to the next level? That's what I want to share with you. And I think that is really going to push you forward for 2020. So who has a question? Who has something they would like to share before you go and do your homework, before I go and do my homework for tomorrow night? Who has something they would like to share? A question? I'm just going to wait a second. If you have a question, you're watching the replay, please post it and I will try to answer it. Don't forget, our last call will be all about Q&A. We're going to do that on Zoom. Our last call will be on Zoom so that we can actually, basically, it's your time to ask me absolutely anything. And I will do my best to give you the feedback that you need. Okay, well, if there are no questions, let's call it a day. Let's get out there, and if it's in snowy Nova Scotia, then get out and enjoy the snow. It is sunny here in downtown Mallorytown. I've already been out for my walk, but yep, I think I might go for another one. Take care, everybody. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Bye for now.